Two major prepaid contenders, each promising value and flexibility. But in 2025, which one really delivers? On the left, Boost Infinite, the simple and affordable choice with unlimited data. On the right, Straight Talk, your no-contract option built for network flexibility. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real stuff. Each category earns points, and at the end, you'll see exactly who comes out on top. The result might not be what you expect. All right, let's lay it all out with a mind map so you know exactly where we're going. We're going to hit price and value, network coverage, plans and data, international support, multi-line and family options, extras and features, plus the real-world customer experience. Sound good? Cool. Let's roll. First up, price and value. And honestly, you can't not talk about Boost Infinite here. You get unlimited data for as low as $25 a month if you do the 12-month prepay, which, yeah, means you got to commit for the year. But for the price, it's super competitive, plain and simple. On the other hand, Straight Talk is all about flexibility. You want to pay month to month? No problem. They've got annual save plans too, especially if you use a ton of data. But heads up, if you're eyeing their unlimited plans, those will run you around $55 to $65 a month, so definitely pricier. The best rates do need you to pay up front for both companies, but for raw value, Boost Infinite takes this one. Moving on to coverage. Boost Infinite rides mainly on T-Mobile's network. Solid 5G in most cities and suburbs, honestly, but if you want to bring your own device, you got to check if it'll work. Now, Straight Talk's kind of a wild card. You can get AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile, literally just by popping in the right SIM card. It's so flexible, even rural areas that usually get left out are covered. Plus, BYOD compatibility is way stronger. Only quirk? Your exact network depends on what SIM you use, but you actually get real choice. Coverage-wise, Straight Talk's got the edge. So, what about actual plans and data? Boost Infinite is simple. Unlimited talk, text, data, and you get a generous 35 gigs of super fast data before it slows down. Plus, Hotspot allowance goes up to 30 gigs, which is, honestly, kind of wild for a prepaid plan. Only thing is, after the cap, it drops to 3G speeds. Straight Talk's a bit more choose your own adventure. Plans start at 5 gigabytes and go up to basically 60 gigabytes on their top tier, and hotspot rules vary. Speed does get cut down to 2G after your cap. Yeah, it's pretty slow. Also, their lower tier plans aren't great for heavy data users unless you bump up and pay more. So, Boost Infinite is the winner for most folks on this one. Quick sidebar, did you know Straight Talk lets you pick which carrier you're on just by swapping out your SIM card? It's super rare for prepaid, and honestly, if you travel a lot or get spotty service, it's a lifesaver. Let's talk international support because, sometimes you actually want to call outside the country. Boost Infinite's got some add-ons for Mexico and Canada, but overall, there's not tons here if you travel or call international a lot. Straight Talk actually shines here, with specific plans for international calling and unlimited calls to a bunch of destinations. Only catch? No roaming data outside the US. But if you need to call internationally, Straight Talk is definitely stronger. Family time, multi-line deals. Boost Infinite does let you score some pretty solid discounts for families or if you need multiple lines. Sure, it's not as deep as the big-name carriers, but it actually helps. Straight Talk has a couple deals for 2 lines, mainly on higher-end plans, but honestly, most of their focus is on single-line users. So, if you're shopping for your whole tribe, Boost Infinite is the winner here. Extras and features. This is the fun part. Boost Infinite serves up free hotspot data on unlimited plans, budget-friendly options for international calls, and, here's something cool, they even toss in an Amazon Prime bundle with select plans. For a budget plan, those perks are a pretty big deal. Straight Talk, meanwhile, Ace's BYOD, bring your own device, offers Wi-Fi calling and visual voicemail, which is nice if you want control. Issue is, Hotspot isn't on every network. All in all, Boost Infinite just stacks up more sweet extras, so they take this one. Okay, customer experience. Boost Infinite is all online, all about skipping the phone queues, quick answers, and honestly, it works well if you don't like going into stores. But if you want to talk to a real person, maybe get help in a physical location, that's Straight Talk's bread and butter, with support everywhere and a retail presence that's kind of everywhere. The only hiccup is, service might be hit or miss depending on the store, but for options and access, Straight Talk wins here. Here's the score chart. Pretty clear who shines in which category, right? Boost Infinite takes a bunch of the heavy hitter spots, but Straight Talk nails the flexibility and coverage. So who's it for in 2025? If you're in cities, want simple unlimited data and the best bang for your buck, Boost Infinite is just hard to beat. But if you're deep in rural areas, need to choose your network, or international calling is a non-negotiable, Straight Talk's got way more options. Personally, I'd lean Boost Infinite for most people, unless you know you need that Straight Talk flexibility. If you found this breakdown helpful, seriously, go ahead and bookmark it for when you're switching carriers. Trust me, it's one less headache.